thoughts on obviously your new job and Zigi's departure?
Well, so let's just say that Ziggy and I always had a good relationship. So I have a lot of respect for him, and I'm certainly very thankful that, I was able to be part of his staff for 7.5 years. Learned a lot, and I think that now when I look at it, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for me, and so it's kind of bittersweet. You lose a guy that you have a lot of respect for, but at the end of the day, it is an opportunity for me to try and impart some pride back in the club and making sure that we try and win games.
What changes do you feel you need to make right away to turn things around that Sigi wasn't able to do?
Well, that's us. It was us. We're a collective. So, obviously I have different ideas, but let's make sure that we know that the staff was a collective. Number two, we have to incorporate 2 new players into the group, and that's going to be certainly an important task. Seeing how the Ladero and Dempsey combination, how that works, that's going to be a work in progress. I can't guarantee that it's going to happen fast, but we're preparing for it now. Right after this, we're going to have meetings with the coaching staff, and we're going to make sure that we try and get a plan in place for the next couple of weeks to make sure that we maximize our chances of winning and making sure that we incorporate the new players with the existing group. Some of the other stuff is just making sure that the guys work, and we're going to make sure that we hold people accountable, and those are all just coaching things that I've grown up with, and not much different. It might just be a little tweak here and there, but it's coaching.
How hard is it when you see your colleague and friend for quite a while at a low point and get bad news, but yet it creates a great opportunity for yourself and kind of balancing those emotions?
It's tough, Michelle. I'll probably think more about it tonight once today's kind of over. I might have some, more retrospect, but it's tough. I mean, Ziggy's been a good guy. He's always been fair to me, so it's tough.
You've literally grown up with this club. I have to imagine in a lot of ways this is kind of a dream job, if not a dream situation for you. Do you give yourself that chance to think about it being, I'm sure this is a position you imagined yourself in a lot.
The exercise I went through was always, over the course of the years I was with Zig, I always put myself in his shoes in certain situations. That was kind of the learning. I always said, okay, what would I have done in this situation? So there's that part of it. The biggest thing for me is if you look at the line of coaches that we've had, John Best, Jimmy Gabriel, Alan, Neil Megson, Bernie James, myself, Ziggy, we're all just stewards of the club. What we have here is the club. The club's always going to be here. We just get a chance to work with, super soccer players and good bosses and nice individuals like you. That's a good part of it. But the club is basically the players and the fans, and you guys are all fans, we're all fans, so I can include myself in that group, but it's the players and the fans and their relationship that is the club. And that is what we have to all keep in mind with, the departure of Zig. We applaud him for what he's accomplished, and it's my turn now, because I'm just a steward of the club. However long I'm here, love to be here a long time, but however long I'm here, I'm going to do the best job I can for the Seattle Sounders to have success, and that's how I feel.
Apart from winning games, is there anything that the team can do to repair the relationship with the fans?
Well, I didn't know if it was broken. I mean, look, fans are paying customers, and they can certainly voice their concern. That's their right. But I still think that the players in this group still play for the fans. I don't think there's any shutdown, any disconnect there. I know the fans because I was there in Kansas City, and that wasn't one of our best performances. Those people up in that corner of the stadium were just as loud as the, whatever they call themselves, the Blue Cauldron. They were loud, and they, for all 90 minutes. So I don't think there's a disconnect.
Given that the news came out this morning, previous to training, how do you think the guys took training today?
It was okay. I mean, there were some guys that were, emotional. One comment was, well, a guy just lost his job, and none of us like to lose their jobs. So yeah, on a human level, on a personal level, it's hard. But they all worked. I mean, they all we're going to get a little bump, and it's a new guy, and can I impress the new guy? We'll get that bump, and so how we proceed with that to make it a long-term bump so that we close out the season on a positive, that'll be the challenge.
And Brian, what will be your play philosophy that'll be different than Sigi's? What's your style?
We're going to have an attacking, scoring, tough-nosed defensive team that wins games. That's all I'm going to say today.
Coach, your first game in charge is going to be the LA Galaxy. Is that a little bit like getting thrown in the deep end?
No. Bruce is a great coach. It's a good team. But there's a lot of good teams in this league, including ourselves, and we're at home.
How exciting is it that it'll be also a full stadium match for your opportunity to kind of come out as interim head coach in that setting?
It'll be nice. It'll be fun. Like I said, I enjoy my job.
The interim tag can kind of be a complicated one. Do you approach this as a tryout? Do you approach it as a full-time gig until somebody tells you differently? How will you sort of approach that role?
Again, I'm a steward of the club. My own personal feelings is that I'm going to do everything humanly possible to win games, to push us into the playoffs, and then whatever happens at the end of the day, I'm very pragmatic, and I will turn up okay.